We're staying on top of breaking news at this hour. A police officer in DeKalb County was shot and killed tonight. It happened late this afternoon around 5:30 p.m. And here's what we know right now. That officer was shot during a routine traffic stop. The officer then taken to Grady Hospital. The suspect, also shot, died at the hospital. Also, a canine officer was shot. The dog is now in critical condition.
We've got team coverage tonight. 2 reporters on the scene and 1 at Grady Memorial Hospital. But let's start with Brittany Miller. And Brittany, what can you tell us?
So the police chief actually had to take a moment of silence before he addressed the media, and at that point, he then expressed the mourning and sort of saying this is a very tough night for so many here in the DeKalb County Police Department as they mourn the death of the officer that died in the line of duty tonight. They are not releasing his name right now, but they did tell us that he has been with the department for less than 2 years. They then broke down exactly what happened today, saying that around 5 p.m., this officer was conducting a routine traffic stop. He pulled that car over on Candler Roads and Tilson Roads. Something happened where that suspect got out of the car, started running. That officer then chased the suspect. The suspect opened fire, shooting that officer with a handgun. That is when backup was called. And take a listen to what the chief said happened next.
A police canine was able to establish a track and track the suspect. The police canine, the canine officer, and the cover team were able to track behind one of the businesses here on Candler Road. They found the suspect hiding behind one of the businesses. The suspect had a handgun, shot the police canine.
Those officers then returned fire, shooting the suspect several times. He was taken to a local hospital where he also died. We do not know the ID of that suspect. They would say that he's in his 20s or 30s. As for that canine is in critical condition. But again, a very tough time for the DeKalb County Police Department. They have now passed this investigation along to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So I will keep you guys posted.
Yeah, Brittany, so we obviously had this all play out, the entire drama this afternoon on the air here at CBS 46. The officer, can we go back and recap exactly what happened to the officer and where the officer may have been hit?
Right. So the officer was conducting a traffic stop behind me here. This is Candler Road that you see here. Is at Candler Road and Tilson Road. Something happened when he pulled that car over, where that suspect then got out of the car and started shooting at the officer with a handgun. That is when backup was called and responding officers showed up to the scene. They were able to track that suspect down behind one of the local businesses. We're not sure which businesses or which business that was. There are a lot of businesses here in this part of DeKalb County on Candler Road, but they're able to track him down. That is when the suspect shot the police canine, and then you had those responding officers returning fire and shooting the suspect to death.
All right, as we wait for confirmation of exactly who the officer is in this case, the fallen officer, and notification of the family, much more to come, a lot more to unpack. Brittany Miller, I know you'll stay on the scene. We'll get back to you with more information as soon as it comes in.
Now we want to go to Alicia Roberts. She is also on the scene for us tonight. And Alicia, you spoke to witnesses. Tell me, obviously this was very traumatic, and I'm not sure, what did they see? What did they tell you?
So, Sean, we're here at the intersection of Candler and McAfee Roads, and this scene is still very active. As you can see, the police still have orange cones across the roadway. It is completely blocked off to both vehicle and pedestrian traffic. We're still 2 blocks away from where the actual shooting occurred. Chopper 46 was over that scene today as it happened, really during the rush hour, during a busy stretch of time when there are a lot of people out along Candler Road. It's a busy 4-lane highway. Businesses on both sides. Right now, most of those businesses here out live are closed off. The entire area has been locked down by police. They are still very much vigilant. We did speak to several eyewitnesses on the scene. One cashier inside the Walgreens behind me telling me she heard 4 gunshots fired. Another agent inside this check cashing place said her colleague heard about a dozen shots fired. And while they say many of them actually learned that it was an officer shot from social media, they say this area is prone to violence.
I do know there's a lot of crime activity on this main road, but I still have never seen anything like this before.
Y'all need to stop the violence among officers. Officers out here just like y'all, they're human beings to do their job. They're out here to protect and uphold the law.
And another woman we spoke with inside a deli just across the street says earlier this summer that deli was actually robbed. She says she doesn't always feel safe when she is at work here along Candler Road. Police not taking any chances. They are still very much on scene monitoring the situation. Sean?
Alicia, before we let you go, we definitely know that you spoke to witnesses there. When we heard the press conference given by the DeKalb County Police Department, they had said that the suspect may have possibly been behind the business, but we also heard reports on Twitter from people who were also there saying that they were running in and outside of the businesses, in the businesses and out. Is that accurate information? Is that what you're hearing out there?
These businesses here, Sean, are about 2 blocks away from where that happened. So while many say they heard the shots fired, they can't confirm that information about the suspect. But many saying they are still very much rattled from what happened today, and to learn that it was an officer involved is something that really has so many hearts, you know, pulling for that officer and his family tonight.
I agree with you. Thank you, Alicia. We appreciate that update.
All right, Alicia, now after the officer was shot, he was, as we said, rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital. CBS 46's Bobeth Yates is live there right now. Bobeth, tell us about the scene there. There was a massive outpouring, so many officers who showed up at that scene. The fallen officer even had a police escort from APD.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was a pretty busy night here. Literally, officers were coming and going from multiple law enforcement agencies. But we knew it was a little bit more severe when we saw the medical examiner truck pull up. Now, as you know, a medical examiner truck is usually called in to investigate the death of a situation or investigate a death. Now, when that pulled up, we knew that this was a very serious situation, and we knew it was not likely that someone would walk out of here tonight. Now, we're told by the assistant chief that when they found out, of course, they're not releasing the name of the officer that was shot. But what they're telling us is that officer was apparently, as you said earlier, in a traffic stop, a routine traffic stop that went awry. Witnesses tell us, but officials are not confirming this, but the officer was shot apparently in the head. And after that, you know, it was just a rush to save his life. Now, everyone here, all the officers were mourning, and there was a police escort as the medical examiner truck left the facility, and we just saw an outpouring, officers tearing up, and a lot of emotions as, you know, they felt the pain of this fallen officer.
Yeah, that blue brotherhood, if you will, Bobeth. I know you're going to join us again, try to gather more information from your sources. We are getting the reports that the fallen officer was shot in the back of the head. That's not confirmed, so perhaps you'll be able to pin down some more information there. Bobeth Yates, live at Grady Hospital. Thanks so much.